Hello everyone, Yanni Plays here and welcome back to Animated Minecraft. So in the last few episodes we learned how to do a walk cycle and then we learned how to do a run cycle. Well, how about we are going to combine everything together so that our character here is walking and then we are going over into a run cycle. Now of course we can manually do everything with keyframes, but there is an easier way to do things like that where you easily can add different animations. For example, the character can stop and look at something or wave with his hand and then continue walking or continue running. And the tool that we're going to use for that is the NLA editor. NLA stands for non-linear animation. So now I already prepped a few things for this episode. Of course, I imported a character or a player rig and I put somebody's skin on. Today we have KB Kid skin. And then I imported our walk cycle, and then back here starting at frame 40 we have our run cycle. So let's go ahead and set everything up the way that we need it. So first, up one window down here, and that is where we're going to have the NLA editor. So for that we're going in the animation into the non-linear animation, and then I'm going to open up another window up here. Here we go into the dope sheet, and in the dope sheet we are actually going to change that to the action editor. So now that everything is set up, let's start playing with this NLA editor here. So as you can see, we have multiple different strips, and those strips are of course named like our player. What reminds me, I should go and rename that. So now we have KB up here, and that is going to be the action strip down here. So to create those action strips, so our walk cycle goes from frame 0 to frame 23. And as you can see, frame 23 is exactly the same as frame 0. So for that, we are actually going to frame 22 because that is where it actually is going to stop. And then we're going to have the second action that will be the run cycle. But let's go ahead and split everything up the way we need it. So for that we are clicking on this button here, so that is pushing down this strip, and the marker is still set on 22, so I can click Y on my keyboard. So the strip now is split. Of course you also can right click and split the strip here. Then our second animation that we had started at 40. Also going to split that here. And we ended at 53, and 53 again was the same one, the same position as this one here. We are going to 52 and we click Y again. Now all the ones that we don't need, we can just go ahead and delete out. And now we have our walk cycle here and we have our run cycle up here. So to make sure that we know what we're talking about, let's click on one of those strips. And if we press N on our keyboard, our toolbar opens up. And of course the cursor needs to be in the NLA window, otherwise it just opens up another one. And so if we're in here, we go over into the strip section. And here on the top, we are going to rename that. And I'm going to name that the walk cycle. And our second action, we are going to call our run cycle. So now we have those two strips. Now all of those strips here, you can just pull and drag around however you need them. Same with the walk cycle. Of course, you also could scale them. If you put S, you can scale them, but that doesn't make the strip longer. That just it makes it longer, but it still keeps it at one cycle, so it's not duplicating the cycle. So if you would like to duplicate one of those cycles, you click on it, and then over in our strip again, we scroll down all the way bottom, we extend the action clip, and then here we have repeat. So let's just repeat the walk cycle twice before we go into the run cycle. And actually let's go ahead and repeat the run cycle 5 times, just so that we have a little bit more meat to work with. So now when we go through here, we run, and then all of a sudden here we start running. So here we need to have a smooth transition. Well, how are we doing that? Well, first of all, let's go ahead and create a new track. For that, we're hovering over here at the track, or we click on this track here and we do Shift A, and now you can see a new track is created. And let's move the walk cycle up for now. Now, something very interesting happened. So as you can see, the walk cycle is over and now we're in a run cycle, but the run cycle isn't playing. We just walk, then we stand still and nothing else happens. You see, we have that orange U here, and if we click on walk cycle in the strip again, we have the end position here, and the end position says hold. And if we go to nothing, then this hue disappears, and now you can see we are back in a run cycle. And the reason for that was because the walk cycle was on top of the run cycle. So depending on how you have things cascading, the run cycle now is the primary and is going to override everything below. So that's why we have to take the end position out. If we would overlap them, you can see we keep on walking, and then as soon as our walk cycle is done, we are going into running, because again, the walk cycle here is replacing everything that's underneath, because as you can see, blending, we are in replace. If we were going to combine, we're probably going to have something really funny looking, because now it is trying to mix those two together. So for that, what we can do is we can blend those two together. And for that, I prefer to just use the auto blend options. So for that, I'm going on a walk cycle because the walk cycle is the primary one. And then I'm going to select this auto blend in and out. So now should look better. So let's see how it looks like. We walk and then we start running. And as you can see, we slowly start picking up speed. So now let's go ahead and just put in a rest position. So we say, okay, he is running here. Now he needs a break. So for that, let's just go here to frame 100. And let's just make a quick little pose. All right, so with our terrible little animation done here, let's see if Blender actually can mix that from the run cycle into this animation here. So for that, I already renamed it to fall. Let's go ahead and push that down as a new strip. So now we have our fall animation. All right, now let's take our fall and let's see if we can blend that in a little bit. I'm just going to use the auto blend again. Let's see how it looks like. Actually, this one here should be sped up a little bit. Repeat the run cycle a little bit longer. And this one here, we actually are going to scale a little bit better. And I'm actually surprised how good Blender was putting this fall animation in. So, and as you can see, that's how simple it is, how you can add different things. And of course, instead of a fall, we could have made a hand wave, or just stopping around and looking around and then start running again. So I encourage you to just go in here, go into NLA and play around and see what you can do and what you can come up with. So I hope this video helped you get used to the NLA editor. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope I see you in the next video where we are going to import a Minecraft world. Thank you very much and have a wonderful day.